Leone. Good morning, Sierra Leoneans.
It is a pleasure having you and every other Sierra Leonean, everybody across the world and this country. They look forward for hearing from you. And it's a pleasure that you're speaking to AYV first. There are a lot of issues going on. Last night, there have been press releases from international observers, the EU, Carter Center, AU, ECOWAS, talking about tallying, credibility in the process. Will you want to react to the issue of tallying, where the the main opposition, APC, self don't raise?
Yeah, first I want to tell Sierra Leone and say tally we started yesterday 10 o'clock across the country. We do the tally in Britain, now we got a warehouse, now Wellington. We do an Kenema, now we regional office. We do an Abo, now we regional office. We also do an Apoloko, our regional office, and then we do an Makeni, our regional office. So we get, currently, we staff them, they work 24/7. The tally, they go on. So far, in terms of the results, now the tally center, I would say about 90% of the, 95% of the results, they're all in at the tally center now, in the various regions. Which may progress on they make in terms of the collections of the results and the tally itself they go on. Before we start the tally yesterday, we have been received a call from the All People's Congress that because we give every political party 2 representatives for day at each point in time.
For observe.
For observe. And how the process they go, we get 2 sets of entry clerks or entry areas. You get the first entry area where they come with the result reconciliation form the inside tea bag. Then they open their results, they weigh the inside that tea bag. Take out the first entry point. That entry point, you get over about 4 staff. Each of them staff, and then they distribute the form to them separately. You get your set where you don't input all the details where they on that result reconciliation form. And what we call result reconciliation form. And they give the number of ballots where they give at each station, then the number of ballots where they use, and the number of ballots where the party they get. At the end of the day, they get for check what's in their vote, what's in party they get, which one are the void vote for equal to the number of ballots we receive. So then we clerk there, the entry clerk there, then they enter them figure in the electronic on the computer. When they don't enter, if all things correct, they give you green light, mark on the computer. Then they take now the other set of the second entry, then they're at the other parts of the building. If you go to the warehouse, I'm sure we'll staff it.
Yeah, in Wellington.
So then they're at the other side of the building. They know they even communicate with what they happen at the first side. So when they don't enter, if you agree with what that person they enter, it give clearance, that result is authentic. For political parties, we create the kind of shield with a glass, with transparent. Political parties, observers, they all day, then they see what they happen from yonder. So the questions where they ask you, one of the questions that I received from the All People's Congress yesterday, from the Secretary General, that we for project the results. So the question I ask, first, this procedure now be done, they use over the period. It's not a new thing. It happened in 2012, it happened in 2018. So now the same procedure, we will get the entry clerk then, where political party they sit down, then see the way they under, not to make a construct out, now for the purposes of the tally.
For projects the results, they mean for use projects or for
now they can't do that one day. It's not possible for me to project results because you get about 8 people they enter. So if you need a project, which one you get for project? It means we don't prepare, we put computer, we put projectors, each one will enter a reflect. So that's not possible for me.
But the political party then been no say this not get for happen because like you mentioned yesterday when I've been done the use them now other by elections them where you've been come. You've been making clear to them say no, we're not able to do this because of the number of result them will get for.
The procedure we prepare, we invite political parties there, we tell them clearly say we're not the project because it's not possible. The system not good day for me to project. They know. Why would they do during the by-elections? Because now one election, then they easy for them enter and one person they enter and they reflect on the wall. but we not get that system and will not prepare the system and will be told that they will not the project. However, as with the input, we go reach certain points, we can print out the results and give them. Now, even among the staff that will recruit, you get the query staff. If political party will don't give them the data, then they get question on a particular station, they can go to that query staff, I want to see this entry. Then they will go to that machine, which side they do that entry there, or they go to the system, they put that entry. If they get issue with her, then we address her. So that the procedure, that's the opportunity that they get.
Okay.
If you say, again, the other question is, they know they see how they enter. It means we therefore put each of the entry level, the 8, you get forget 13 political parties get for sit around their staff and they where they enter on a computer. So that's also not possible.
Okay, let's read this press release quick from the European Union Observer Mission. They say the European Union Elections Observation Mission, EUM, is concerned about the ongoing tabulation process. And in quotes, considering the highly polarized political environment and prevailing mistrust, it is imperative that the Electoral Commission for Sierra Leone provides full transparency during the tabulation of results in order to ensure confidence and trust in the electoral process. That now the EU-EOM Chief Observer Evan Insa said. And in addition, we stress the importance for all observers to have an unimpeded access to critical stages of the tabulation, including intake of results, forms, and data entry. The EU-EOM observers are present in all the regional tally centers and follows the development.
Okay, I don't watch that statement. What I would say, EU, not only EU, you get over 10 observers within an audience center. So if EU, they say they forget access to the intake, it means we get for go provide chair for all observers, for all political parties, at each desk we say that they do the entry, which is not possible. Therefore, what we will do, we ensure say we make provision for let them go sit down, we say that they see that they enter. They know they see, once they come out with paper other side. The agents then they say who say the results then pack inside the tea bag, then they see where they take that tea bag there, from which side they come to the side which side and they open her and check, then they see back which side and they go give the clerk. So which transparency again when they ask for?
Okay,
like say the transparency when they ask for, now for make access for let people then go and observe the process. Okay. So we say we don't make available for the first time, then they confirm say, then they are all center as part of the openness.
Let's read one other quick one from the AU and ECOWAS mission. They say the ECOWAS and African Union Observer mission, missions to Sierra Leone general elections of 24th June 2021. Commend the people of Sierra Leone for the commitment to democracy and their civic duties by turning out to vote, express admiration for the voters' discipline and the peaceful manner they conducted themselves. Urge the people of Sierra Leone, especially the candidates, to exercise patience in the post-election period. Call on the Electoral Commission of Sierra Leone, ECSL, to stand firm and fulfill its duties without succumbing to pressure to uphold the credibility of the institution and be accountable to the people of Sierra Leone. Further call on the ECSL to undertake the tabulation process expediently and transparently without the provided time frame. And the final one, express concern at the announcement of an official result by some political actors and individuals, and in this regard, urge all stakeholders to refrain from such action, and as such, reiterate that the ECSL is the only body authorized by the Constitution and laws of Sierra Leone to announce the results. Now, Dr. Mohamed Ibn Chambers and the former Prime Minister of Ethiopia had signed this press statement. Are you under pressure?
If I've been under pressure, like I don't announce the results. But because I want to let the results be, they go through the process and procedure, so at the end of the day will be accepted. Now that's maybe they take me time for do. I just come out get meeting with EU, the Commonwealth, and the ECOWAS. That these are the expect observer then, where they identify issues, call the responsible authority for explain the rationale. Before we get the meeting, let's say we don't get this perception, say it's possible for me to do projection, or it's possible for let the party then what they demand. Why don't I explain to them? Now they say, now we get this information clearly. So it means if we interact, and they call on the All People's Congress, we can consider from yesterday when I wake up, now begin get conversation with them on the tally process and why we not the project. To the extent I even allow the Secretary General for going at the data warehouse, they go there, they go see all how the process they go. Wait, come on, they not call me again whether he was satisfied or not.
But you don't conversation with the APC. That is what you're trying to make clear.
Yeah. Okay. Yesterday, I talked to even the running mate of the All People's Congress 2 times. I talked to the Secretary General more than 3 times. Where is still not satisfied, now I say, okay, Secretary General, go now with data warehouse, make it go see how the process they go. And where it go, the regional commissioner begin, again, opportunity to go through the process and see how it go. Where he come out and not call me whether he was satisfied. So I think I say they were satisfied with the procedure. And even when I go, I meet other APC representatives, in some of instances except the 2 political parties, they may get more than the required number. I me get for time, they say, I said, no, we're not accommodate more than 2. Only 2 at a time. I make them provide chair for them with all other observers for me to sit down and focus on what they happen.
What's in this concern about tabulation? The EU says same, the AU, ECOWAS says same, and even Qatar Center in the statement says same. And the main opposition said they raise concern about them. What's in the issue with them?
No, you see, now we don't talk the Qatar Center, the AU, the ECOWAS, the Commonwealth, they don't understand. And they expect that when we explain these things to political parties, then go be honest, for tell the truth. But waiting, then they go tell the observers a different from waiting now the reality. So the concern where they raise, as in they raise and they go to them observers, they go tell them say, now this they happen. But the unfortunate thing is, like the EU, they now they center and they watch. So if they say now for get access to the intake, no, an officer that's a reasonable demand. You know how many political parties they will get? You know how many observers they will get? So which means each observer get for go sit down near the clerk there. Where you take this from the car, where they enter a see and verify. So it means you're going to have over 15 people per 1 desk, which is not practical. So what we will provide for, when we don't enter, will they give prints out to political parties? If we then get query by any of the centers, then we'll go to that query staff, then we'll go request, say, we want for see this, then the staff then will pull up and show them.
With over 90%, as you mentioned.
They don't receive.
They don't receive, yes. So when Leoneans for expect you, yesterday you say, this now you tell now you the law give the power, let people allow you for enjoy that.
No, I don't tire with the power now.
You don't tire?
Yeah, I don't tire with the power.
So with all seriousness, are you tired with this? Is it that the pressure is too much on you?
No, I mean, what you say at the talk at this mind, like within the Commonwealth or the African Union say, if pressure come, I succumb to her, and they do the wrong thing.
Okay.
So they make sure say the pressure high they can, me say they follow the due process. And the due process now get for give credibility to the outcome. So the pressure may they continue for piling. But we say they take with pressure. Time. Of course, they say for I mean if the 2 parties they don't begin call say this one win, this one win. You know, so many people they call try release results. These are all pressure in one way or the other. However, the promise to Sierra Leoneans, will they go through the process and make sure say we reduce the anxiety. Will they anticipate it today from here they go to the warehouse. Let's see what they don't do so far. Maybe by end of the day we'll come out with some amount of results to the public. Let them see how the process what's in this situation.
Earlier you've been saying this process on the expedite time. When Leoneans forget the final announcement of this process for the presidency?
Let them give me 48 more hours.
You go announce that before?
Let them give me
in the election?
Yes.
Okay. Well, we want to tell you plenty thank you. Perhaps you get a message we want left with Sierra Leoneans and the political parties as well as the observers.
Political parties are available for discussion and available for explaining the processes. Let us avoid giving false hope to our supporters as they say, that we don't win. Let us avoid putting the ECSL staff as a target because during the poll, as I read out yesterday, a lot of our staff, they attack them because of suspicion. And what will they do? Now national sacrifice, now we only do contribution what they do. Sierra Leoneans, I want to let them believe, say, the same procedure, this tally will they do so. The same procedure and processes will be used 2012. Now the same procedure will be used 2018. 2012 where APC be in power. 2018 where APC be in power. Now the same procedure and processes will they follow. If that time they then be sit up behind the shield, behind that glass, they then they observe, how the process they go, they accept her. Let them accept it and believe say. The same process will they do, may they also trust it, and therefore come out with the required results. ECSL, will they do with best. Day and night, we start then they work. And we don't work very hard for get to this point. But the fact that we do peaceful elections, this result will come on SAFU, we jubilate SAFU as a Sierra Leonean.
And at the end of this, you'll have no regrets?
Nothing, bro.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much, Mohamed Kenewi Kone. That's the national returning officer. We say the people of Sierra Leone and across the world, people away they anticipate for the results. Giam 48 hours, they go announce who that win this election. So this is your home of credible, factual, and all-time balanced news. We bring you live broadcast from Bintumani Conference Center, and we talk to the authorities and people them way matter. We can't talk to the Independent Commission for Peace and National Cohesion. We'll take a quick break, but thanks very much for joining us, and wish you all the best.
It's a pleasure. Thank you
very much.
Yes, Fabulu Nakusha and Kabo, and good morning. We did now PZ